what happens in one cycle. Okay, suppose in one cycle, suppose I have taken one cycle here. Like I'm taking A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, this is one cycle. So what happens A to B? From A to B, what happens here? The current is what? Current is maximum to 0. Okay. And what is that? The polarity is what? Polarity is what? Positive. Then energy is again absorbed and charges. Okay. Energy is here. Here energy is absorbed for one cycle, I mean, one quarter cycle. Like suppose A to B is one quarter cycle, B2 is one quarter cycle, second quarter cycle, third quarter cycle, and fourth quarter cycle. So energy is absorbed here. Energy is absorbed. And what happens? Charging. Charging is here. If you look at the charging is maximum. Okay. Charging is maximum here. So we have A to B, maximum to 0, polarity is positive, energy is absorbed, and charging it is maximum. Second one, what is that? B to C. B to C, it is 0 to minimum. Okay. 0 to minimum. Now, here polarity is negative, it is energy is released or returned. Okay, energy is returned. And again, charging is here, it charges, or we can say it charges here and discharges. Charges in the first quarter cycle and discharges in the second quarter cycle. Then C to D. What is that? Minimum to 0. Minimum to 0. And then what happens? It is positive. Then it absorbs again. Absorbs, and then what happens? After that, it charges again. Then next one is what? D to E. So 0 to minimum, 0 to what? Maximum. Okay, so here what happens? Again, it is negative. Energy is again returned. Okay, energy is again returned. Then it is maximum or discharges, charges. Okay, 0 to max. Again, it discharges. Okay, this is the way what happens. Where do we use capacitor? Where do we use capacitor? Inductor, I told, inductor is used in choke. In the tube light, there is a choke. Nowadays, we are having digital one, electronic tube lights. Okay, but we are having even LEDs also. Okay, but before we used to have, now even now also it is there. The choke will be there. Have you seen a choke will be fitted on the tube light? A choke like this. If you see the old ones, it's like the old tube lights. There is a choke like this, and there is a starter, and this is the tube light. You might have seen in India also. Now you know here also.
Yes, sir.
This choke is basically is an inductor. Okay, this choke is basically an inductor. Okay, what is the purpose of inductor again? It is used for filtering process. It doesn't allow or it blocks DC. It blocks DC and it blocks DC and allows AC to pass through it. Okay, that is actually purpose of an inductor. Okay, it blocks DC and allows AC to pass through it. Okay, that is a function. Clear with you? So this is what happens in one cycle.
Yes.
Whereas capacitor, if you want me to ask, like capacitor is used for in the batteries and all we use, or not in the batteries exactly. So so we are using the simple example. I will say this charging and discharging. You know this car wiper. Car wiper is the best example. Car wiper, the wiper, when it is going up, it is discharging, coming down, charging. Okay, going up, discharging, again charging, discharging, charging. It happens in that way. Okay, this is how the thing works. And not only in that one, like if you take a grinder, mixer, or a fan, ceiling fan, table fan, or electric motor, water motor, whatever it is, every motor, it has to rotate one or two times. It has to rotate. So for that, a capacitor is there fitted on the motor. So the capacitor will allow the fan or the axle to take one turn. When you switch on, it takes one turn. When it goes into one or two turns, because of the inertia of motion, that it gains enough energy and starts rotating continuously. Suppose if the capacitor is spoiled, what happens? You might have seen in India, if the fan is like, if the capacitor is spoiled, the fan will just do like this, just back and forth. It is not able to rotate. So what they do, they take a stick and rotate once, two times or one time. Then automatically the fan starts working. Because there's a physical action we have to do. Understood? If the capacitor is spoiled, even in the fan, if you take a ceiling table fan or if you take a grinder, mixer, whatever it is, you have to rotate 1 or 2 times. In the olden days, they used to do this when the capacitor was not there. They used to rotate 1 or 2 times, then it automatically starts. Understood? So that's a function of a capacitor to make 1 or 2 turns before the gains the motor or the axle or the fan gains rotations. Okay, clear? So please, once you are done, please tell me, then we will go to the next LCR circuit. So we have a resistor, and then we have a capacitor here, and then we have an inductor. So here we have capacitor, resistor, and inductor. This is EMF. Okay. Now, what is the formula here? We have the formula V is equal to what? There are 3 components connected in series. Okay. Resistor, capacitor, and inductor. V is equal to what? V is equal to Vm sin omega t. This is the input voltage. What I'm applying. What is Q here? Q is charge on the capacitor. Okay. Q is charge on the capacitor. Q is charge on the capacitor. And I is current. I is current at time t. I is current at time t. So what is the now the voltage across this will be what? L into di by dt. The voltage across this will be how much? It will be C is equal to Q by V. Yeah, V is equal to Q by C. Sorry, the voltage across this one will be Q. V is equal to Q by C, and this will be our IR. The voltage across this. Voltage across this is L into di by dt. Voltage across capacitor is Q by C. Voltage across resistor is I into R. So V is equal to what? Vm sin omega t. Q is charge on the capacitor. I is the current at time t. Now, what is the formula? L into what? L into di by dt plus I into R plus Q by C, which is equal to what? V. Okay. L into di by dt plus I into R plus Q by C, which is equal to V. Understood? Now, come to the phasor diagram solution. Come to the phasor diagram solution. Phasor diagram solution. Phasor diagram solution. So what is the formula? I is equal to what? I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. I equal to what? Im sin omega t plus phi. Okay, phi is phase difference between voltage and current. Phi is phase difference between voltage and current. Okay, phi is what? Phase difference between voltage and current. I is phasor. I is what? Phasor representing current. Phasor representing current. Phasor representing current. And VL is what? VL is voltage across inductor. Voltage across inductor. VL is voltage across inductor. And VR is voltage across resistor. Voltage across resistor. VC is what? Voltage across capacitor. Voltage across capacitor. Now V is what? V is voltage of the source. V is voltage of the source. And what is VR? VR is here parallel to I. Why parallel to I? They are in phase. VR is, see here, I is what? We have the formula I is equal to Im. Suppose when we solve it, it may be some angle. But finally, when we solve the full equation, the current and voltage equation, maybe the current equation may be in cos or something else. But whatever it is, but I'm adding some angle or subtracting some angle. Some angle is there. So I wrote in that way. So voltage across inductor, voltage across resistor, voltage across capacitor is equal to voltage of the source. Clear? Once again, voltage across the inductor plus voltage across the resistor plus voltage across the capacitor is equal to voltage of the source. So we have I is equal to what? Im sin omega t plus phi. Phi is equal to phase difference between voltage and current. I is the phasor diagram representing the current. VL is voltage across the inductor. VR is voltage across the resistor. VC is the voltage across the capacitor. And V is the voltage of the source. And VR is what? Parallel to I. And VC is pi by 2 behind current. Okay, here VC is pi by 2 behind. Okay, pi by 2 behind current. Behind current. Okay. Why? We see capacitor in if you look in the capacitor circuit which we studied before, current is lagging in capacitor. When we come to inductor, what exactly is happening? When we come to inductor, current is leading or lagging? The voltage.
Leading.
It is leading in capacitor circuit. Current is leading in capacitor circuit. But current is leading or lagging in inductive circuit. What is exactly?
Lagging.
Huh?
Lagging, sir.
Lagging by how many degrees?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. Very good. Lagging, current is lagging by voltage by 90 degrees in capacitor circuit. And in inductor circuit. In capacitor circuit, current is leading the voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, that happens. Now, so VC and then we have VL. VL is equal to what? VL is equal to VL is pi by 2 ahead of current. Okay, pi by 2 ahead of current. Now see here, we have here now here what happens? This is the current, this is the VR, and this is what? VL. Okay, this is VL and this is VC. This is VC. Okay, now this is here 90 degrees. Again, this is also 90 degrees, and this angle is how much? Because this is the voltage actually. This is a final current. We are comparing with the final current now. We are comparing with the final current. So what happens now? This is omega t plus phi. This much is the phase difference. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose if you are taking here the phasor diagram final. See here, these two are vectors. See, there are two solutions. One is a vector solution. One is phasor solution. One is analytical solution. Analytical solution is not there in our syllabus. That is deleted. Only we have this part. Now, so if you see carefully, if this vector is as it is, this vector is as it is, but only this vector, if you take, this is subtraction. This is the subtraction. Okay, and this is the final one. Okay, clear? So this is 90 degrees. This is what is this? This is VRM, and this is what? VC plus VL. Okay, now so here, how do you want now? Now here it is VRM, and this is phi. This is omega t. This is omega t. And here what happens? VCM minus VLM. VCM minus VLM. So here what happens here? VM. Okay. And this is VR. This is VR. Okay. Okay. So this is what we got. Huh?